So good evening. Thank you for joining. So we'll go through the steps initially. These I created based on my experience. So the first thing is about the resume file name. So please make sure to save your file name with a valid file name. So because if you are sending with something like this, whichever examples I have given, right? So when the HR people are saving, they need to manually put your name and do that. So whenever you are attaching anywhere to anybody, you are sending email for resume, right? So make sure you put it the name correctly. Whatever, generally I use the first one. So if you want, you are a developer or QA or anybody, right? So you can put whatever role you are aspiring for or whatever role you are currently working on, something like that relevant to your skills, you can update. Your name is important. And if you want to put something else, it is okay. Or only name is also fine. First name and last name you can give. Whether it is docx or doc or pdf, anything, give a valid file name, because without a valid file name, the other person also will not feel like it is a professional resume. So make sure you give a valid file name. This is the first thing I want to convey. And I have seen a lot of people's resume. So I noted few things which are not required actually. So the first thing is about adding a photograph. So many people are adding the photographs in the resume. It is not at all required. So company have other things to verify, right? So they will not ask you the photograph inside the resume. You need not include the photograph. So if you are already using, it is your wish, but I recommend to delete it. And do not add any full address. So people are adding their addresses also and sharing their resumes across LinkedIn or any HR, right? So it's not required. Only during the BGC verification or something, they'll ask your resume and other address proof, something like that. So don't share all your personal details, right? This is not required to share across LinkedIn or HR people in the initial rounds. So if you want, you can mention the city name. This is also not required, but if you want, you can do the city name. You can definitely mention, but do not enter the full address. So this is a privacy issue, right? So you cannot have it included in your resume. And do not add your family member details or something like that. This is not at all required. So this is not important for the job interviews. So delete all these things. And some people are also including their signature, like the name at the end of the resume. This is not required, because already at the first page you are mentioning whatever name you have, right? So do not include this signature. This is not required. And do not put any declarations. So I personally do not prefer any declaration. So whatever resume we are mentioning, it will be always correct information we are conveying. So why should we say that all things are correct, or I promise something like this? We no need to write these declarations. So this is my opinion. And so if the HR needs some date of birth or something, we can mention over call or in the email. So, but in general, date of birth also, I think it's not required, because this is also private information, right? We are giving in the banks and other places. So this can cause some issues. So remove your date of birth. If you want, you can put the name, age. So age is a just generic number. So if you want to, you can include it. It's optional. So marital status is also not required. This is not important for the interviewer or the HR to know your personal details. So and other things like hobbies, like general hobbies, you are not required to convey it in the resume. But if you have any major accomplishments, like you have got some awards in other extracurricular activities, those kind of things, if there are major accomplishments, you can include. All the trivial things and all the general hobbies, right? These are not important. So even for freshers or experienced, these are not required. But if you're writing some blogs or doing some additional things apart from your work, right, those things you can include. But general hobbies like playing caroms, cricket, all these things are not required. So coming to the fresher profiles. So fresher profiles, I have shortlisted few things which I recommend. So Generally they will not be having any experience, so they need to include some career objective so that they want to convey their aspirations. So I am aspiring for some role in testing field or development, DevOps, whichever role they are aspiring. So a career objective, they can convey it in 1 or 2 lines, not more than that. 2 lines may be sufficient. Do not put big essays or paragraph, right? So just put it in 2 lines, whatever you want to convey in the career objective. And if somebody is switching from non-IT to IT, or if somebody is in mechanical engineering but joining the software industry, right? So they have to showcase their resume with the technical skills. So technical skills are more important for the software industry than if you are saying I have some experience in mechanical domain, and you don't need to explain in depth on that. Just one liner like I have done mechanical engineering, that is sufficient. Or if you have done earlier some accounting related jobs, right? So if you want, you can mention it as a single line, but focus on mentioning your technical skills, whatever Java, Selenium, or any other skills you have. So mention all your technical skills clearly so that it can get shortlisted. Our main goal is that resume should get shortlisted. So if it is not getting shortlisted, right, whatever effort we are spending in sending to different HR people, it's not good. So focus on putting all your technical skills. So the resume templates, I will be sharing it shortly, but the tips initially I'll share. So non-IT experience, some people are putting in detailed fashion. So this is not at all required. If you have worked in teaching field or any other domain, right? So, but you are joining as a fresher in some company, trying to do some trainings and do that. So don't include any non-IT experience in detail. If you want to put a one-liner, that's fine. Focus on any technical skills, explain it in detail. So HRs and interviewers are not interested in non-IT work because they are recruiting you for software skills, right? So they are not interested in whatever you want. That is my opinion. So just I want to recommend this. Do not include the other things, non-IT things. So if you are a fresher, right, if you do not have any project which you done personally in your free time, like you have tested something in any training institute, or you have created some projects in the GitHub, personally you have created something. So if you do not have any projects, right, at least put your final year academic project details. This is very important. Last year, like myself and my previous company manager, we had interviewed a lot of people fresher. So we will be asking, generally they do not have any other project experience, right? So we'll be assessing them based upon whatever project they have done, and at least they should be knowing that what work they have done, right? So we generally the interviewers will be doing the assessment on that. So include your at least some academic project details, and at least prepare on that. Whatever you are putting in the resume, you need to be well prepared. So if you have done some academic, the test automation framework, something you have created, right? So in your free time, maybe TestNG, Cucumber, Selenium, or API automation, whatever small frameworks, if you have created, you post it to your GitHub personal account. You can create an account and push it to the GitHub. So any videos you can watch is simple only thing, this will add more value for your resume. If you are just saying that I have the skills also, it may not have much value. This will add more credibility. So if you have done something in your training, so create some Maven project with some Selenium or API automation, small property files and packages you can create, and write some test cases on any demo websites, and 5 or 10 test cases you can create, and then you can push it to the GitHub. And also you can explain the same things during the interview also. So coming to the experienced profile, so I have seen a lot of people are putting their career objective for experienced people also. So already they have a professional experience. So why should we again say that I am aspiring for some role? So this is not required in my opinion. So remove your career objective if you're already a software professional in having some experience. So, and the second point already I mentioned in the previous also. So showcase your technical skills, whatever skills you have, you should be saying that I have the work experience on the skills. If you just say that knowledge on some skills, then it will not help you to shortlist, right? So convey the same thing, like I have the work experience on these skills. I have created this kind of frameworks, these kind of testing, different testing types I have done in my project, like sanity, smoke, regression, all kind of things. So summary and skill matrix. So professional summary and skill matrix, these are important even for fresher or experienced. Whatever knowledge we have and whatever experience we have to showcase that. It's very important. And if somebody has worked for 4 or 5 years or 10 years, right, so they will have might have worked in 5 or 10 projects or more than that or less than that also. But in my opinion, include only the current project and the previous project. So otherwise, if you keep on adding, right, so the recommended number of pages is generally 1 or 2 pages, but it will exceed 3 or 4 pages if you're including more projects. So that is not at all required. So the interviewers are more focused on your skills, and maybe the current project domain experience or the previous project is you will be having the memory in the mind, right? So if somebody asks you 5 years old like project experience, you will not remember much. So I don't think if you are attending something outside jobs, right? So include only 2 projects, current project and previous project, and do not make the resume very long. So many people were sending me resumes on LinkedIn also, sometimes asking for referral or something, but they are having 5 pages, 10 pages resumes. So even people do not have time to read all that. So include only 2 or 3 pages maximum. If you can do it with 2 pages or 1 page, that's great, but maximum 3 pages, not more than that. So if you have any open source contribution that you have done in your free time, writing blogs or anything regarding technical work I'm saying, so include it in your resume with the links. So few things, these are my observations. So some important points to follow. So in the names, everyone is using different formats. So do not use any short forms. Like if my name is Swaroop Nadella, if I am saying Swaroop N, right? So again, if you're asking somebody for referral or the HR person, they need to upload to some portal. So again, they need to call you back, and that's an additional work for them also. So include proper name, first name and last name. Last name is your family name or surname. First name is your name. So include whatever name people should call you in the first name. Like my name is Swaroop, so people should call me like this. So Nadella is the surname, my family name. So I'll include it as a last name. So and then professional resume. So everyone can create any kind of email IDs, but for job search, right? If you put a professional email ID, it will be better. So it will give you some good impression. So some random email IDs like crazy.com, something like that. If you are putting like that, right? So it's not looking good. So just these are suggestions only. If you feel good, you can follow it. And do not exceed the resume more than 3 pages. So if you can do 2 pages, that's very good. 1 page is great, but in 1 page we cannot convey all the information. So 2 pages is recommended. 3 pages is also fine, not more than that. And people are using multiple bold text and caps also, caps. So these two things many people are using randomly without any consistency, right? So do not use any italic text. So this is not any this is only for jobs we are applying, right? It's a professional resume. So do not include italic text. So do not use bold too many times. So wherever the keywords are there, only few things like side headings. And if any skills you want to focus, you can put that in bold. Maybe the headings you can put in the caps, but other things you can put in small letters without any bold. And maintain a consistent font. If you are selecting some font which is giving a good look to your resume, use the same font across the resume. Don't use multiple fonts, so your resume will not look good. So these are few things I have noted based on my experience and knowledge. So I think so we'll minimize this. The first template I'll share with you. So this is my template I have been using from long time, from 2015 onwards. I have been using this. So all my personal information I have removed. I have given some generic information except my name. Everything is like the experience is correct only. But the email ID and phone number I have removed and put some generic. So you can update whenever you get this template, right? Later, I'll tell you how to download it. So you can update your details. And if you want to use this template, you can use. Otherwise, customize this whatever way you want. So as I told, for experienced people, the professional summary is important. So whatever summary you want to convey, you convey it in the first page. This is very important. And the second thing I feel important is the work experience. So make sure you showcase your work, whatever designation you have, or whatever role you are performing in your company. I see some companies are giving the development analyst, something like that for QA people also. So, but if you are working in a QA domain, so testing domain, so showcase your designation like a QA engineer. So what is your role? So mention that so that it is understandable for the people. So if you have some career progression, right? So initially, if I have joined as an engineer, then I might have become a senior engineer and a lead also. So whatever designation you want to showcase, you can slightly change it. We will not drastically change it, but whatever is there, like whatever date and company name. So these are all generic information. You can update whatever you want to update here. And in the first page, the summary, work experience and the skills are very important. So these are my skills currently. So if I want to add more skills also, I can add some additional rows and columns here or append it something like that here. So even you can follow this template, or you can also follow any other template you are currently using, but follow this format. So name, do not complicate here. Just put your name on the left side, email and phone number are on the right side. So experience summary. So do not include the summary as the first full page, whole page. You no need to put the summary. Mainly important points you can mention. What are all your skills? So did you work on any testing techniques or automation tools, right? You can showcase those things. So if I worked on as a team lead, right? Or if you are mentoring some people, so you can also mention that. If you are a senior engineer, so you need to be also working on different project activities apart from just delivering your work. So you can mention something like that. And if you have domain experience also, this also plays important role if you're applying for any telecom or banking domain, insurance. So some people are looking for people who are having the domain experience also. It will help for your resume to shortlist. This is majorly for experienced people. So mention your domain also. It's useful for you. So getting the job is important, right? So include your domain experience and all whatever points I mentioned. If you feel it is okay, you can include. Otherwise, you can customize your experience whatever you want, and whatever skills you have, you can update it here. So the next thing, as I said in the previously, current project we need to include, and what is my designation, my employer. And here the title of project, you can give whatever current project you're working on. And the description also I didn't give. So you can mention whatever description in 2 or 3 lines, not more than that. And do not repeat the points which you mentioned in the professional summary, right? Here mention your roles and responsibilities in the current project. Like if you are working as a team lead, or if you're working as an automation developer or a test engineer, whatever day-to-day activities you are doing. So those are roles and responsibilities. So you will be following some agile ceremonies, or if you are working on any API or UI testing, or you are automating some test cases daily on UI, API, or any other testing, right? So you need to include that. And environment. So whatever tools and technologies you have used, you can mention it as tools and technologies. I just put it as environment here. So you can mention whatever. And previous project. So 2 projects only I told. So current and previous project. So if your previous project is like this, you can mention all the information. So this is same as current project. Only thing, the dates will change and your designations and the company. If it is same company also, that's fine. You can mention the same company name and mention the second client. Like we will work in different clients. So just update your client details and all the roles and responsibilities, environment. And coming to the third page, if you want to showcase any certifications, right, you can mention whatever certifications you have done. Internal certifications do not have outside value. So if you done some internal certifications within the company, right, so that cannot have much value. So better to put only certifications you done with the third party outside companies. If it is AWS or ISTQB or Agile, or some people will be doing Six Sigma, some kind of black belt certifications. So those kind of things we can include. which are valid for outside showcase, right? That's required here. And if there are any awards and accomplishments within the company, you can showcase those things, and any other accomplishment. So if you have achieved in any extracurricular activities, right, some games or something which you have major accomplishments, so that also you can include. It will give some credibility for your profile. And any open source projects or blogs, and if you have a good LinkedIn profile also, you can mention your URL here, or in the first page also you can do that. And personal profile, you can give your age, gender. This based on your interest you can give this. So this may be not much important, it's optional. Academic details also, it's better to give at least your highest degree you need to mention. Other two things, if you feel that it's not good, right, the percentages or something, it's not good. So if you feel that that's very good value for your profile, you can include, at least include the highest degree. This is important for the people who are hiring you to understand. So some companies will have the requirement for BTech or engineering graduates or computer science people. So whichever you have done, you need to mention it clearly. So this is my template I have been using from long time. So it's working very well for me. So you can also use it or customize it in whichever way you want. And another template I have downloaded from internet. Many people are also using this ATS template. ATS means application tracking system. So if I'm sending this resume to some companies, they will be using it to send it to a system application, which will be shortlisting my profile if it is having the required skills. So the skills I mentioned here, and if my relevant experience is proper or not, that system will be deciding whether my profile will move to next stage for interview or not. So that is ATS Resume, application tracking system. So this template also I'll share with you. You can also update it if you want. Include it with 1 or 2 pages. So if you want to increase the font size also, you can increase here. So this is having a very detailed uh, tips also here. So if you see describe risk and clear work experience for the position, and here they mentioned like after filling everything in this ATS resume, right, just to go to Google and type for Resi Match, RESY Match. So this is a website where you can upload your resume and check whether the ATS compliance is good or not. So if it is more than 80 or 90%, so I think your profile shortlisting will be good. If you do not follow some standards and clean structure, right, so it will give the less percentage for you. So in general, the first template will hold good for most of the people, but if the company is following ATS resume, then it's better to follow this second template. So you can include your education, and here the languages, certifications, skills, and the personal information. All these things are already there. Resume templates, now I'll show you how to download. So what you can do is, I have a TopMate profile. So topmate.io/Swaroop Nadella.